So he says, well, I have a friend that's looking for somebody. And that's how I got the job at Rukert's. And I went there the first day and I thought I was going to be interviewed.
You have to say, did he interview you? No?
He said, there's your desk, do your work.
Okay. Can you tell me about Cap? Because
Can
you're
I-
one of the only people that's still around that remembers him.
Oh my God. Okay, he started out with his brother at Atlas Warehouse, okay? And they were a warehouse, a storage warehouse for furniture. And Cap had an opportunity through the Pennsylvania Railroad to buy Jackson's Wharf, which he did. And he had minimal stuff in there. He had straw rugs. He had no groceries. There was no groceries in there. And they had some kind of chemical in there. And he had the drayage department there. But I started there taking over the drayage department, which was an old broken down flatbed and some kind of Scooter-Ute truck. And what we would do is move the stuff from the ships to the warehouse. But at that time, he had an opportunity to acquire Brown's Wharf. Now, Brown's Wharf became the grocery warehouse.
But Cap's personality, I've heard one thing over and over about Cap. What's the thing that
Strict.
strikes you the most?
He was strict and he knew what he was doing, and if you didn't listen to him and you got fired, you deserved it. That's how I felt. He had a system. He would always be there before anybody else. He was the first one in there at 7 o'clock. And he'd be in his office shuffling papers or whatever he was doing. You never went into his office unless you, and then he gave you permission to come in. You just couldn't walk in there, you know. When he said something, you knew he knew what he was talking about. And as I told you, Sam, he could walk up to your desk and tell you whether you're up to date on what you're supposed to be doing and what you're doing. He could tell every job. And that's how our leader should be. He should know all the jobs. But every day, he had to go to the bank. And every day, Virginia Orlowski, not Hooper, Virginia Orlowski had to have that ready. And she always had it. And she'd come down them steps.
Was there a certain time that he would do it every day?
Every day at 1 o'clock. He would do it after he drank his buttermilk. And he would
Still
do
go to the bank at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock, and he'd come back, and 2 o'clock, adios, he left. You know, this business is complicated, and people, they think you just bring in stuff and ship it out. It's so much involved with banks and papers and everything, and you have control of that, and you better keep control of that.
Yep.
You hear me?
Yep.
I came from
Jackson's Wharf.
Pennsylvania Railroad to Jackson's Wharf, Jackson's Wharf to Brown's Wharf, Brown's Wharf to Lazaretta, Lazaretta to Pier 5.
It's all of them.
Pier 5.